So you want to get into modeling. Hi, my name is Gabrielle. You can call me Gab. I am a sports and lifestyle model, and this is how and why I got into modeling. If you watched my first video, you know that I lived in my van for 4 years and shared a lot of photos and videos of that along the way, which kind of led me to becoming an Instagram influencer. And then I learned how to monetize that and kind of make it my job, which was really cool. But as a freelance worker, I feel like you're either really busy or really not. It can be pretty stable, but that's just been my experience. And so I'm into the influencer thing, and I'm thinking, like, what else could I do that would use the skills that I already have that would just open up more opportunity to be creative and make more money in different ways. And after thinking for a bit, I was like, yeah, well, I spend a lot of time in front of the camera creating content. Why not try modeling? So the first thing I did was research. I just started Googling modeling agencies, and there are tons of them out there. One way that I narrowed it down was looking at them by location. So I was like, okay, what agencies in the Pacific Northwest might fit my look? Because there are so many agencies out there. Some of them cater more towards like beauty and fashion, some more sports, outdoor lifestyle. Some of them, I don't know, parts like hand modeling and things. And I came across one that looked great. It was just in Portland, which is a few hours from me, and it was called Sports and Lifestyle Unlimited. They are now the Option Agency because they merged together, and that's who I'm still signed with. So anyways, I find this agency in Portland. I look them up on their website and on Instagram. I find a new talent form at the bottom of their website, and most agencies I think have this. It either says new talent or talent submission or something like that. Every once in a while they'll say they're not taking new talent at this time. I just wanted to be sure that they were, so I found them on Instagram, sent them a message. Didn't know if they'd get back to me or not. They did. I just said, hey, I'm Gab, this is the area I'm based in, this is kind of what I'm looking to do, I would love to model with your agency. And they were like, cool, yeah, definitely fill out the form, we'll take a look. So back to the form, it's super simple. It was pretty much just like measurements, height, waist, bust, hair color, eye color. And then the most important part is the digitals. Every agency wants digitals in these forms, and these are super simple photos. They're unedited photos of what you naturally look like. So you would probably just find like a blank wall and stand there and get a full body front, back, side, up close portrait. Yeah, if you just Google modeling digitals, tons will come up. They're all very similar, and the form will likely tell you exactly what they're looking for. And you're probably just going to wear something simple like a black t-shirt that's like pretty fitted and some jeans. Or they might ask for more sporty ones, like in the ones I originally submitted, I was wearing a sports bra and shorts. I actually took these in a friend's garage with just like a wrinkly sheet up because it's all I had. I was still living in my van. I was like, where can I take these? Now looking back, I probably should have just found somewhere outdoors that had nice natural lighting and like a solid background. Oh, you also don't want to be wearing heavy makeup. You want either no makeup or makeup that looks very natural, because this should be what you look like on the day-to-day. This should be your natural hair. Maybe some photos with your hair down, up. Like I said, they'll tell you exactly what they want. The process was pretty straightforward. I think it took them like a week or so, maybe 2, to get back to me. And then we scheduled a meeting where it was kind of introductory. We get to know each other for a little bit. They tell me more about the agency. And then after the meeting, they may or may not offer me a contract. If they hadn't offered me a contract, it wouldn't have been personal, because a lot of agencies get a ton of submissions, and they might have a model that already has a very similar look to you, a similar skill set, or they might just not be the right agency for you. Some of them are more catered towards outdoors, some of them are more fashion beauty, some do all of it. But there's lots of agencies, so I would just have a handful that you'd love to apply to kind of in your back pocket. If one says no, you can always take some time, apply later, do your research, don't fall for scams. There are a lot of agencies I've heard about, I've never come across one, but they will ask you for money up front to submit a form, or they'll act like they're signing you and there's all these hidden fees. That's a red flag. Don't fall for scams. Do your research, and if you have the opportunity, try to talk to someone who's either already with that agency or just kind of seasoned in the modeling world. So once I was signed, it was really important that I build my portfolio, which is just images showcasing your skill set, looks, poses, ones that show personality, ones that might be studio, maybe outdoors. Having a solid portfolio is a game changer. For me, that meant getting photos of the types of jobs I wanted to get. So when a client reaches out to an agency, they might ask, we need this type of person with this skill set. they want to see exactly what they're going to get. They don't want to take a risk on a model who may or may not be able to play the part. So I think it's really helpful to have images of you, say, biking if you want to do a biking shoot, in the studio posing if you want to do more of that. The nice thing about having shot all these photos for Instagram is that I had a decent starting point of nice, like, clean digital photos of me doing the things I love. So like hiking, snowboarding, running, and then just like portraits, smiling, action, just a mix of things. If you have absolutely no portfolio, you can simply start with like asking a friend, family member to take some photos of you on a camera, doing the things you love, or some simple poses, maybe a few different clean outfits. And then from there, if you want to invest money in it, you can hire a photographer that has experience shooting models and get photos from them. And if you're having a hard time thinking of who could take your photos, your agent will have a list of photographers in the area that I'm sure they've offered to other models to work with. And then as you start getting jobs, you can find those photos from the jobs once they're released and use those in your portfolio, which is awesome if you can find them. Another thing worth talking about is imposter syndrome. I struggled with this before signing and then a little bit after once I did my first few shoots. It's just those thoughts of like, I don't know if I'm good enough, this isn't for me, someone else could do it better. Thinking that way is a waste of time. There are so many agencies out there, so many always looking for new faces, and there's a need for all kinds of looks and talents. There is no one type of model. Like I said, there's sports, fitness, fashion, curve, parts. I mean, there's all kinds of things. But also know that it's extremely normal to feel this way. Once I started getting jobs, I'd be at those jobs and I was really excited to be there, but I was also like, what am I doing? Like, it was kind of I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but a little bit. I just had looked up some poses when I went to my first e-commerce shoot and was like, this feels right. And then just listened to their direction. That's huge. If you're teachable, you will get better and better as it goes. Like, if you're easy to work with, teachable, comfortable enough to be in front of the camera, you can get better and better at posing. You can practice on your own. I think I learned best by doing, because it was really helpful to have like a creative director or someone be like, oh, try this, or I don't know, just give like little tips on different poses, and then you kind of remember these even in your subconscious. Like, I'll be at shoots and not even thinking about what they want. It starts to feel really natural to just give like different angles and expressions. A lot of people have a signature look. I would say mine is just my marketing smile. All kinds of brands need different looks, sizes, skills. If you have imposter syndrome and think like, I don't know if I can do it, but I really want to, I would recommend you give it a try. On top of building your portfolio, it is also really important to be communicative with your agent. They super appreciate fast responses, because some clients will reach out and need to book some people for a job that's a week to even just a few days out. That's the funny thing about modeling. You can book jobs that are like planned pretty far ahead, but oftentimes, in my experience, the job might be next week and your agent's going to need some information from you, maybe a small like 30-second audition or introduction of yourself to send to the client to see if they for sure want to book you. And the faster you're communicating with your agent, the happier everyone is. Another thing worth keeping in mind when modeling is that it's not about you. You are there to be who the client needs you to be. That's actually why I love modeling, because it's not so personal. You don't have to take it home with you. You get to go and express yourself in a way that is kind of fun and creative, and oftentimes it is a skill set you already have, whether that's simply posing for e-commerce photos or running around shooting something on location. Either way, not about you. If the client does your hair in a certain way and you're like, I don't like this, don't say that. It's not about you. That's unprofessional and a bad look. I don't know if you've heard the phrase hurry up and wait, but that's a lot of modeling in my experience, is being on set and just being ready for when they need you, so you're not just like dilly-dallying way over here. If they want you in this certain waiting area to do hair and makeup, or you're done with hair and makeup and they want you here waiting to be on set next, that could be anywhere from like in the next 10 seconds to the next 30 minutes or more. Either way, you're being paid to be there. It's your job to hurry up and wait. But anyways, that makes everybody's lives easier. I think you're more likely to get rehired with that client if you're easy to work with, fun to work with, and you're good at hurrying up and waiting. Another question I get a lot is, how long does it take to be a stable working model, like getting stable work consistently? This is an interesting question. It's different, I think, for every model. For me, it's kind of similar to my other freelance work. It's either really busy or really not. So I like to have a flexible schedule so that I can say yes to jobs that come up last minute. Sometimes I'll do shoots back to back to back, and then there'll be a big lull. Other times they're kind of sprinkled out. That's why I like having the balance between doing Instagram and modeling. For me, that's a good balance. I know a lot of models that work another job while they're also modeling. If you're going to do that, it's really helpful to have a job that's fairly flexible, just because you don't always know about shoots until maybe a week or less before. I know this is a little scattered, but there are just so many things we could talk about. I'm going to leave it at that, and if you have any questions, if I can expand on anything, let me know.